I read like one reverse harem, and it like just I was the it real like the blurb really like caught me, and so I was like, I'll read this. Like, it's fine. Oh, you know what it was? It was a Sarah Kate book. It was her book, Give Me
Oh,
More.
okay. Yeah. Sarah
And so
Kate.
I read that, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. I was like, I don't hate this. I was like, okay, I can deal with this. And then all of a sudden, my algorithm was like, oh, so
Well,
you like
here.
this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, then they start throwing them at you like crazy. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I think mine came about because when Four Horsemen was still working with Yonder, which used to do like you had to pay to read each chapter thing. I don't even know if Yonder's around anymore. They wanted some books from us and they kind of gave some guidelines and they like threw all these tropes out and said, we would love it if you can use as many of these tropes as possible. So I just went, oh, I'll use motorcycle, supernatural, and I'll grab reapers. Oh, and I'll do why choose also. So we'll do reverse harem. So I just threw them all in there. And the next thing I know, I'd written like 11 or 12 chapters. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of going somewhere. And then it got sidelined because I started with, I started doing about Massachusetts Mafia took off. And so I kind of started doing some other stuff, but it's still sitting there in the back of my brain. At some point it will probably come to fruition. I don't know when or how, but at some point it probably will. So
Well, if you need an arc
yeah.
reader,
Oh,
you got me.
anytime. You can
You
always
got
be my
me.
art greeter.
Because so for anyone who's watching and doesn't know what is going on, I'm Jonna. This is my bestie, Mimi Francis. She's also an author with Four Horsemen Publishing. And this is Booking It with Jonna, and we're here to talk with Mimi about I haven't talked to her in a year, so
Yeah, it's been a while. We might go off on a tangent here and there every now and then. So
people expect that of me, so
yeah,
it's
I think they do
fine.
of me too. So
It's fine. It's fine. Um, so last time I talked to Mimi on my other podcast, her book Taken by the Mobster, Massachusetts Mafia Book 1 was coming out, which was Declan and Olivia's story. So good, by the way.
oh,
So
thank you,
spicy.
thank you.
And then since then, she has published The Sugar Daddy Arrangement, which also so good, by the way.
Thank you. I love that story. I don't know why that's one of my favorites because it was so
Honestly,
fun to write. So yeah, it was so
I
fun.
so I got that one as an arc also, and I read
Uh-huh.
it when I was in Baltimore. And I will tell y'all the three books that I've named, like the next book, The Mobster's Daughter, which is the second Massachusetts Mafia book. Literally, I read them in like a day. Like I was just like, I mean, I got time to read a casual like 200 pages. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, look,
I'm not,
and Massachusetts, Mobster's Daughter is one of my longer books too. So
and I read it in a
that's
day.
like 300 pages. Good for
Yeah,
you.
I
Good
actually
for you.
read
Yeah,
Sweet
I actually get that a
Connections.
lot. So
Yeah, like
yeah.
they really like suck you in like immediately, and then you're just like, then it's like an hour later, and you're like,
What
where
time
have
is
I
it?
been? Literally, where have I been? What universe is this?
Well, and
Uh,
the Sugar Daddy arrangement, the whole Sweet Connection series is meant to be a quick, fast read. There's not supposed to be long books. They're novellas. They're supposed to be short. They're supposed to be insta love. They're supposed to be quick, fun reads. So, and I'm actually working right now on the second book. And a little scoop, it's called The Engagement Arrangement.
ooh,
So yeah. So and if you keep in mind that all of this is based on that website where people go to find somebody, you can kind of guess that the engagement arrangement, they're not actually engaged. So it's going to be a fake engagement. So, and I'm having so much fun writing it because I am just letting my characters be goofballs. I'm just letting them be ridiculous. I'm just letting them enjoy it. I'm having so much fun writing it. It's gonna be fun. I think when I'm done with it, it's gonna be a fun read. So
I
fun,
can't wait.
sweet, sexy, spicy, all that good stuff.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I actually read the Sugar Daddy arrangement twice.
Oh, did you?
I did. So I read it as an arc, but I was in I was in Baltimore at a book thing. And so like I was like reading it in my hotel room and I was like, damn, I was like, this is a good book. And I'm just like reading it. And then I finished it. And then I was supposed to do like a review for it on the ARC thing. And then
Uh-huh.
so like I went to download the Mobster's Daughter and it was like, you didn't do your review for the Sugar Daddy
And you're
ranking.
like, whoops.
I was like, oh goodness. I was like, let me go back and reread it. So then I reread it and I was like, this was just as good as the first time I read it. It was so
I love
good.
it.
Yeah. So then uh the Mobster's Daughter is not out. Is it out already?
No, that comes out July 26th.
Oh, so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I got to read it first.
Yeah, not for it doesn't come out for a while. So it comes out July 26th, which is funny. It's my daughter's birthday. So she's like, hey, birthday
Yay!
present for me. So yeah, so it comes out July 26th is that
Ooh,
one.
that's so fun. So July 26th is when The Mobster's Daughter, the second Massachusetts Mafia book, comes out. And it's about Caitlin O'Reilly and of course
Mm,
her silver
Grady,
fox.
her silver
Her silver
fox.
fox.
Yeah,
Look,
Grady. Yeah. Oh, I love Grady. I'm in love with Grady.
look,
I
the
mean,
heart palpitations that man was giving me. I was like, am I okay? I'm feeling unwell.
yeah, he he gives big time heart palpitations. That man is I wrote him that way on purpose because there's every I believe that everybody's got every woman's got that silver fox guy act, whether it be an actor or whatever in her life that is older than her and she's like, oh my god, why is he so attractive? He's like 20 some odd years older than me, but
Tom
like
Selleck.
I used to, yeah, Tom Selleck. Oh my god, Tom Selleck. And Tom Selleck is like, I mean, he's older than me too. So, but mine was always Tom Selleck was one of them. I always loved Sean Connery. I always
Oh,
used to say that man could eat crackers in my bed anytime he wanted
so
because I just, especially as he got older and he was so attractive. I just have
oh
always
yeah.
loved Sean Connery. Every woman's got a silver fox in her
Mm,
somewhere that some actor that you just go, I
I've
don't know
got a
what it
few.
is. I don't know what it is, but oh boy. But
Kevin
yeah,
Costner was another one, especially
Kevin
when
Costner.
Yellowstone came out. I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah, in
I was like
Yellowstone
Kevin.
especially. Oh my God, he was so great in Yellowstone. So it's funny though. I like was searching through pictures when I was writing Grady because I was like, I gotta find somebody who inspires me. And I didn't necessarily want it to be an actor. It didn't have to be an actor for me because Grady's not actually like Taken by the Mobster is heavily based on an episode of Supernatural called Time After Time. So
Oh,
that book is heavily based on Time After Time from Supernatural, especially Dean in the trench coat and oh yeah, Dean in that outfit. So that's kind of where that came from. But I didn't really have anybody that Grady was based on.
mhm.
So I started looking through pictures and I just kept finding all these great pictures of these older male models and I'm like, well, this is like amazing. So, that's where Grady comes from is just that everybody's got that silver fox in their life that they have the hots for. And I know he's in the book he's 46. Yeah, he's 46 in the book, but
Mhm.
that does to me he was always like a prematurely gray 46, so there's not a lot of guys that are gray at 46, but Grady full on gray, salt and pepper hair, salt and
I,
pepper goatee and mustache.
I
So
mean, he works for the mob, so I feel like that would take a toll
yeah,
on anybody.
oh yeah, that's gonna make anybody go gray,
Literally.
including me.
Look, I just, oh God. So Grady's just a hodgepodge of like a bunch of hot silver foxes,
Basically, yeah.
and we love
Yep.
that about him.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love Grady. Grady's one of my favorites, and he's a grump. So
so
he's just,
grumpy.
he's just a grump, and Caitlin actually drives him crazy.
Mm,
Which but that's the whole point. Is Caitlin? Caitlin has a lot of character growth through the Mobster's Daughter. I've
she
already
does.
actually it's funny. I've actually had some reviews coming in, and I've had a couple that are like, she's too whiny. And I'm like, look, first of all, like I told my daughter, I said, somebody said Caitlin's too whiny. And she goes, I'm too whiny. She's
Not
like,
we
is there
all.
anybody on the face of the planet that's not whiny? And I'm like, well, that's true. I mean, we
That's fair.
all have our whiny moments. So,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, Caitlin is whiny at first, but Caitlin has a lot of character growth as the book goes along. She starts to figure out who she is and what she wants and how her life needs to go because she's fought so hard not to be a part of that mafia life
Mm-hmm.
that that's part of what makes her whiny and part of what makes her a little intolerable to begin with is because she's fighting so hard against that life that she does not want to be a part of. And I really wanted to show that growth of Caitlin going from that whiny little brat who annoyed Grady to a woman who understands what she wants and what she needs and changes her personality changes a lot over the course of that book. So
Yeah, it
yeah.
does. She was very like when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, when are we gonna get to Grady's chapter? Because like she was
Yeah.
killing me.
Yeah, because she just you're just like ugh. And I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, I totally get it because I
Yeah.
wrote her, but I intentionally made her that way because I needed people to see Caitlin is like this because Caitlin is fighting so hard not to live that life that her family is so involved in,
Yeah.
including her sister and her brother-in-law and her mom and her
Mm-hmm.
dad and everybody around her is so involved in that life. And she's fighting so hard to not be a part of it. That needed to be expressed early on so that
Yeah.
people understood where Caitlin was coming from.
Yeah, no.
So,
She definitely grew on me as the book went on, like especially after like she had to like go on the run and like all of that stuff.
mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, okay, okay. All right, all
Yeah.
right.
she
I can deal with
she
her.
she goes through a lot. Yeah, she
Yes,
goes
she
through a
does.
lot to get her to that point, and and it's in a short amount of time. I mean, it's like literally the book takes course over a week in
Yeah.
that book, and she really goes through a lot in that week, and she really just she figures it out in that week's time. So I
I mean,
actually Caitlin's a complicated character and she deserves a little bit more than oh she's whiny. I know I'm gonna get the oh she's whiny, but there's a reason that she's
yeah.
whiny because she needs to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
also like it definitely was she definitely played up the whiny when Grady was around because like,
Oh yeah,
she just wants to needle him a
she
little
did
bit.
that
Be
on
like,
purpose.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. She did that on purpose. She likes to push Grady's buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And she would intentionally push Grady's buttons because she knew she could get a rise out of him. And then, of course, as the story progressed, the pushing of the buttons and getting the rise out of him led to the spicy times, which,
Got a rise out
Caitlin
of him,
liked.
if you know what
So,
I
yeah.
mean.
So, exactly. So, again, that was Caitlin intentionally pushing those buttons so she could get what she wanted out of Grady. She's no dummy. She knows what to
She
do.
did,
So
in fact, get what she wanted. Okay.
yes, yes, she did.
Oh, but not only is Grady 20 years older than her,
Yes,
he is also, besides her father's second in command, her father's best
her best
friend.
friend. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was that was actually really tricky to write because I wanted to make sure that it did not come across in any way that Grady had like groomed her over the
Yeah,
course of them knowing each other. I didn't want that to be, I didn't want anybody to think that that was how that relationship came to be.
yeah.
So Caitlin really didn't give a crap about Grady until she was in her early 20s and
Hmm.
stuff. She didn't really, and that's when she started going, oh, hey, if I get in trouble, Grady's going to come down and rescue me. Or come up and rescue me and fix this for me. So I'm going to get in trouble so that Grady comes to my rescue. So, Grady didn't really give a crap about Caitlin and she didn't give a crap about him until they were both until Caitlin was in college and older. And then she was intentionally getting herself in trouble because she wanted Grady to come to her rescue. But who wouldn't?
Yes.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
look,
Grady.
look. If that man just walked past me on the street, I'd be like, so can I get your number or not?
Yeah.
Because like, what's going on?
Hey, yeah, you'd be tapping. Excuse me,
Hey,
sir.
sir. Not that I care how old you are, but like, how old are you? Oh, okay. You're in your 40s? Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You got a girlfriend? You need one? I'm here for you.
I'm here. I'm available.
Literally me with every hot single fox. I'm like, hey. Ah, yes.
I love
Grady,
it. I love it. I
he
love it.
he just all of your male main characters, like in the books that I've read, so the mobster's daughter, taken by the mobster and sweet connections, they just are so like when they fall for their girl, they're just so head over heels for them. And I'm just like I just like want to cry because I was like, they're just so sweet. Like Xander and Sweet Connections, he's like, look, I don't want you to think that I'm like paying you for sex. He was like, if you want to have sex with me, like that's gonna be like for free. Like
Yeah.
there's no money involved
Yeah.
here.
I ain't paying you
Like,
for that. Yeah. And
right.
I oh Xander. Oh, I love Xander.
Oh,
Do you know who Xander's actually based on Steve Rogers? So yeah. Does that make it even better?
of
Yeah.
course it
And of course,
did.
it's the Chris Evans version of Steve Rogers because who else would it be? Exactly, our little
Obviously.
heartthrob, Chris. So yeah, he's based on he that was actually originally fan fiction. The Sugar Daddy arrangement
What?
was originally fan fiction that I wrote, and it was I pulled it down now because it's a book, so I pulled it
Mhm.
down, but it was Steve Rogers fan fiction when I originally wrote it. And I took it and I pulled it down and I adapted it and I changed it around quite a bit to make it what it is. But Xander is still the Steve Rogers character in my
Yes.
head. He's still Steve Rogers. So
He's
yeah,
just
yeah. I know.
that that literally just makes him 10 times better
That just makes it even better, right?
because we all know your girl is just head over heels in love with Steve Rogers. He's just
I
such a
know.
sweetie, you know?
I know. I know. Which is
And it
exactly what how Xander is. He's just
like
a but he can be tough when he needs to be.
hmm
So he can
yeah,
be
no, when
tough
he
when
was
he
being
needs to
all
be.
sassy with his friend about Daphne, I was like, yeah, you tell him. You tell him.
Exactly. Tell him exactly what it's supposed to be like. So
Literally. I didn't like his friend in the book. I was like, I don't like
yeah.
you.
Yeah. But
Why
you
aren't you
weren't supposed to.
listening? I know.
You weren't
I know
supposed to
you. I
like
know
him.
I wasn't supposed to. I was just like, I wanted his character. I like wanted his friend to have like a little bit more character development. He was just like, sorry. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I didn't really care much about him, so I'm like, you just go away.
Yeah. They always need like that friend though who's gonna be like, look, man,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
What's
You
going on
know?
here? Yep.
Yeah. He's like, they only want you for your money. And he's like, that's exactly. He was like, but I want to give my money to them.
But I want to give her my money, so it's okay.
And I'm like, why can't I find a Xander to give me some money?
Right? I think that's we all want a Xander to give us money. So
Literally.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also hated Daphne's ex-husband.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
He was
Daphne's ex-husband was not a nice guy. I think Daphne's ex-husband was just he was very selfish and very focused on himself and what was best for him. And he
mm-hmm.
kind of didn't think about Daphne or even her daughter that much in
Yeah.
regards to whether or not what needed to be done for them. He was just very selfish and very focused on himself
Yeah.
in
It
that.
was the double
Yeah.
standards for me.
Yeah.
I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Oh yeah.
I was, I was like, what do you
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're mad that she has a man at her apartment when you literally have a bitch at your place? That's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
But the
crazy.
sad thing is those double standards exist. And
Yeah.
it's crazy that they do because there are men who are like, well, I can have all the girlfriends I want, but even though we're divorced, but you can't have any boyfriends around my daughter, but I can have as many girlfriends as I want around my daughter.
Right.
It's those unfortunately those double standards exist and it
Yeah.
really it really sucks. So
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping in the short amount of time I had to kind of portray that, look, this double standard sucks and we need to stop having these kinds of situations arise.
Do better.
Yeah, I know. Everybody
Gotta do
needs to do
better.
better. Be
Literally.
better. Be better.
Literally. Okay. Well, what else? So you said you have another, you said the
The
engagement
engagement arrangement. Yeah,
engagement
that's
arrangement. I like the way that
that's
sounds.
that series, Sweet Connections, it's only 3 books. So but it's gonna come out in a collection
Ooh.
in paperback and hardback when the 3 books are done. So those 3 will be released in Kindle Unlimited first, and then the 3 books will be put into a collection and come out kind of like I have this collection. It's if I can get it. There we go. It's
The
the
Loves of
Lakeside.
Lakeside?
Yeah, the Loves
Yeah.
of Lakeside is in a collection. So this is the first 3 books in the collection. So we're gonna do something similar with Sweet Connections, like we did with this.
Period.
So yeah. And so the second book is the engagement arrangement, and the third book is the marriage arrangement. So yeah. And I also am just turned in the 5th and 6th books in the Loves of Lakeside series, and that
Ooh.
series is now sad face done.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm done with that. So that was my fifth
Oh.
and sixth books, and that are turned in. Um, so they'll go up on Kindle Unlimited along with the 4th book. Will now go up on Kindle Unlimited. It hasn't been, but it will be now. And then the 4, 5, and 6 will go into a collection like that's called More Lakeside Love, and you'll be able to get both sets of collections with all 6 books together. So
Period.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, I can't wait to
yeah.
be poor again. So excited.
Yeah. I know. That's my goal in life, is to make people buy all my books and be poor. What can I say? Sorry.
Look, and I
Sorry.
will. I will.
And I appreciate it.
That's
Like
the
you
thing.
don't know how much I appreciate it. So
That's the problem is I will.
I will be buying all the books. I
I
love it.
will be buying
So
all of them.
I love it.
Definitely the Sweet Connections ones, and definitely the Taken by the Mobster, the
Yeah.
Massachusetts Mafia, because those are good. And they're good. And it's so spicy. And they're spicy, right? Okay, so let's
Right.
talk about it.
Okay. Talk about
They're
it.
spicy,
Yes.
but they're not like overly graphically spicy.
Yes. Because this is hard to explain. I don't I don't want to say that the people who write that write more graphic, I don't want to say write more graphic stuff, that it's gross.
Hmm.
But sometimes, to me, some of the explanation takes it to a level that makes me uncomfortable. And I don't I don't ever want, so I mean, I read my own books, obviously, and I don't want to take myself to a level where I feel uncomfortable when I'm writing. So
Hmm.
because I have to be comfortable when I'm writing it. Otherwise, it's not going to come across as genuine to
Hmm.
you guys if I'm not comfortable when I'm writing it.
Fair.
So I will pull myself back a little when I write stuff, because I'm like, is this going to make somebody go? And I don't ever want that. I never want that. I want them to be spicy, and I want to make sure that that's just the kind of writer I am, as a spicy writer. But I also want to make sure it fits with the characters and it
Hmm.
fits with the way that I write and my writing style. So that's just kind of how I do it, I guess, is the best way to
Yeah.
put it. So
Oh no, like I will say I wasn't complaining about the spice
good.
because because I like that it's just that perfect amount of spicy where you're just kind of like need some water,
Yeah, you
you
need
know?
some water, but it doesn't go too far.
Yeah.
I think is kind of, yeah, I feel like it doesn't go, it doesn't, which is funny though, because sometimes I get people who will leave like reviews, and I try not to read my reviews, but sometimes my daughters will go read them for me, and then they come and tell me what they say. And unless it's really bad, they won't tell me that. But people will be like, I mean, this is why spice is so subjective and
Mhm.
why we have to be, really careful how we label spice, because I will get people who will be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so spicy. It's unbelievable." And then I will get other people who say there wasn't enough spice in it. So, and spice is it's so subjective
Yeah.
with people. And I think part of what my books, even though they're mafia romance, I know they're not dark romance.
No.
So you have those elements of the mafia in there, but you don't have like the toxicity that sometimes comes in those relationships in the dark romance. Because I can't, I'm not comfortable writing that. So that's
Mhm.
for me, I can't write those toxic type relationships. I just can't bring them full circle around to work for the way that I write. So my daughter, my middle daughter Tiana's actually the only one who's read all my books. She's read every single one of my books. She is very, very good at like separating the fact that mom wrote it
Mhm.
from reading it. So she tells people when she's at book events and stuff with me, she'll say they're like dark romance light, or if you're just kind of dipping your toe into figuring out if you like dark romance, it's a good place to start when you read them. So you're not
Yeah.
going to go too deep into that dark romance
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah, dark
Mafia.
romance
It's
light.
like Mafia Light, you know?
Yeah, mafia light,
Yeah.
mafia
Yeah.
light, because I
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
write the mafia because it's fun, first of all, writing mafia. And of course,
Mafia's so
it's so fun. And then of course I went whole hog in the Mobster's Daughter. And not only do I have the Irish mafia, but I threw in the Italians and the Bratva in there too. I'm like, here you go, have them all.
I
Just
know.
throw everybody.
I was like, okay, everybody's here. I love the
Just
party.
yeah,
I love it.
it was like a mafia party. I just threw everybody in there for it. And well, kind of what part of what happened is I got stuck halfway through writing The Mobster's Daughter, and I could not get the story to go anywhere. I was just stuck. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I started writing the third Massachusetts Mafia book to kind of jumpstart myself back into the second. And I wrote about half of the third book before I went back and finished the second book. So that's kind of how it ended up happening, because I started introducing some of those characters in the third book. And I'm like, oh, well, this person in the third book needs to do this in the second book. So then I would go and put him in the second book. And it just kind of all came full circle around. I have had to go back and revise a lot of the third book as I'm writing it because I changed some stuff as I went along, but that's okay. It'll be, it'll be, it'll be good. So
I love that. I
it's
can't wait.
Finn. Finn gets his book in the third book. Yeah.
Yay. We love Finn.
Yeah, I love Finn. I've had a couple of
Uh,
people. My editor even said, she goes, I can't wait for book 3. And then in parentheses, she put, I really hope it's Finn. And she didn't know that it's going to be Finn. And I was like halfway through it. And I'm like, she's going to be thrilled because it is Finn. So it's Finn's book. Yeah.
Yay. We love Finn.
It's,
He's the
yeah,
best.
we get to know a little bit more about him. We get to kind of understand his background and why he's doing what he's doing and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be
I can't
Finn's
wait.
book is fun. Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so
So
excited.
yeah. So I'm also working on that. I write multiple books at a time. I'm one of those people. So I'm also working on that at the same time that I'm working on the engagement arrangement. So
Ooh.
yeah.
And that's so like those are two like completely different like
Completely different worlds. So completely different worlds. Well, and then I'm also working on a paranormal romance
Ooh.
that's like super, super, super world building in that. I've had to build worlds, like Lakeside is its own little world and stuff
Mhm.
in Loves of Lakeside. But this is like, I've had to do lore, I've had to create monsters, there's magic, there's all kinds of stuff. And it's based on a 400,000 word fan fiction I wrote like 10 years ago, when it was my
Dang.
very, very first fan fiction that I ever wrote and ever posted anywhere. And I started reading it one day. I was like, I got a message that somebody had followed it on because it's on fanfiction.net. And I went and looked at it and I'm like, I haven't looked at this in forever. And I just started reading and I was like, I need to turn this into a book. And it's probably going to end up being like a 3 or 4, maybe even 5 series book. That'll kind of, there will be some cliffhangers. For the first time ever, I'm going to leave cliffhangers at the end of books. But I know because I don't ever do that, but I'm going to this time. But it's like, it's going to be so cool. I am so excited about it. So that's coming up. That's also coming probably in 2026. It will start rolling out. I know it's a
So
long
far
ways.
away. So far away.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Fine.
I know.
It's fine. It's not like I don't have 300 other books to keep me
Yeah, you can
company.
read all your other books while you're waiting for mine.
But like literally, like as soon as I get an email from you that's like, "Hey, I got this arc and I need someone to read it." I'm like, "Okay, everything else has to go away and I have to read this book immediately because my friend needs to know what I think about her book." And 98% of the time it's going to be like, "I love it so much." It usually
Makes
takes
me
me a
so
day to like
happy.
digest it cuz I'll be like, "Yay, everybody's so happy at the end." And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm sad. They left."
I know. Oh, I love that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't love it that you're sad at the end, but at the same time, that makes my heart happy because it's like
Hmm.
I want you to miss them when
Oh
you get
yeah.
done. I want you to miss them. So you
I
look
I
forward to the next one that's coming. So yes.
I literally can't wait. Okay, look, when is Finn's book gonna come out? That's the real question. Let's talk about it. When is Finn
I
coming out?
I'm hoping, and of course, all of this hinges on when Erica decides to release it, my publisher. I am hoping for early 2026, like we're talking
Okay.
like January or February. Um, I am halfway done with it. I might even be a little more than halfway done with it.
Ooh.
I do have to go and do some revision because I have the idea for the next book, the fourth book in my series. So I
Who?
have the idea for that, and but I need to um the character that's getting his book in the fourth book, I need to get him in book 3 so that what I need to happen to him for book 4 happens in book 3. So
Gotcha.
I have to go back and do some rewriting and stuff so that I can pull that character into his own book in book 4.
Hmm.
So I do have to do that, but I know how I'm going to do it. I just actually have to go back and do it. And I've been trying, like I was trying to get the Loves the Lakeside books in because I wanted to get those out, and I'm trying to get the next 2 Sweet Connection books done so I can get those out, but they're both, I just started the second one, but I'm roaring through it. I've already written like 12,000 words in a week because I'm just kind of flying through it. It's coming out very easy. I don't know what it is with this book, but it's coming very easy. So, and then I have to do some revision on the marriage arrangement because I already wrote it, but I do need to revise it and fluff it a little bit because it's not as long as I would like it to be. So I need to do some stuff to that. And then my sole focus is going to be the third Massachusetts Mafia book after that. So, and I'm hoping I can get it in. I would like to get it turned in like July-ish
Hmm.
to my publisher so that I can push for January or February release date on it. So,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah. Yeah. That
I
was
will
the
be here.
long drawn out explanation for
I'll
you.
be here patiently waiting.
And you'll be one of the first to know because you get the emails with the ARC stuff. So,
I know.
you'll be one of the first to know.
Honestly, that was like the best thing I ever did was sign up to be an ARC reader. Like that was like I was like, why? Like, why didn't I do this before?
Yeah, because you get them first. You get them early when you
Yeah.
do that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you get the
And
first. Like Massachusetts Mafia, the second one, Mobster's Daughter doesn't come out till July, so you got it real early. So,
I know. I was so excited. Cause I got it. Well, the first I guess I didn't realize I had signed up to be an ARC reader for you. And so then the sugar daddy arrangement came to my inbox and
What
I was like,
is
did I
this?
was like, did I do that?
Nah,
I
I'm
was
just
like,
sending
okay,
them to whoever.
it's fine. Keep sending them to me, girl, because I'll keep reading them, okay?
Good. I'll keep sending them. Trust me. Trust me.
Please. Yeah. Okay, so hmm, you're done with your second chances in Hollywood, aren't you?
I am. Second Chances in Hollywood is done. Oddly enough, there is a sneak peek in the back of book 4 for a fifth book, but right now that series is shelved because
Mm,
um I get a lot. The Massachusetts Mafia books are my most popular books, and people have
fair
been
enough.
really, really asking for book 2. So I was glad that book 2 is coming out, and I don't want to make anybody wait super long for book 3. So I want to get those out. Um, so right now, I'm just going to sit with the 4 books that I have for second chances in Hollywood. I just think that it's kind of at a good point to stop. It's
Yeah,
bookended very well because the first book um, is Chris and Sophia. And then the last book is Seth and Sasha. And Seth and Sasha are Chris and Sophia's best friends. So
got it.
it bookended really well. And I
Okay.
really like that. I don't want to force a fifth book, even though I have an idea for a fifth book and maybe a sixth book. I kind of don't want to force them. So I
Yeah,
think we're just
I get
gonna
that.
sit where we're at with the 4 books for that one as
Hey,
of
I
right
love it.
now. Yeah.
Honestly, it's good. A lot of people like some people don't know when to quit while they're ahead,
Right. Yeah.
you know?
True.
So,
True. Yeah.
like, I
Well,
mean,
and
so
that's kind of how I feel about it because as much as I like this, the kind of the idea of the story for the fifth book, it's like it felt a little forced when I was writing the sneak peek. And
mhm.
I was like, I'm not sure I'm ready to write this completely. So that's why and I haven't had like this huge, oh my God, give me book 5
Yeah.
like I had with people with Taken by the Mobster, where everybody's coming and going, when is the next book coming out? We need the next book, blah, blah, blah. So I really want to get that done. And then I want to focus on my paranormal romance series once I get Sweet Connections and
Hmm.
book 3 out for Massachusetts Mafia. And then I can work on, like I said, I work on more than one book at a time. Oh, we're about to have a visitor. Hold on. Um,
OMG.
she's been a little bit of a baby. You say
Look
hi.
at that pup. Oh my
That's
goodness.
Sophie. There's
Hi.
Sophie.
Hi, Rita
She,
pup.
funny enough, she's actually named after Sophie from Private Lives because my husband saw the name on something and he's like, I really like that name. And I'm like, okay. So I guess and then I have another dog named Sasha who's named after the other
I
character.
love that.
So yeah. But yeah, so my focus is going to be Massachusetts Mafia and then the paranormal romance once I get all the other stuff done. And then I am full of ideas, so I constantly have things that I want to write, but I don't know when those will happen. So I have like a golf romance series I want to write about golfers because I don't do hockey players. Not that mostly because I'm a huge hockey fan and I know what hockey players look like when they don't have their fake teeth in. Again, I don't get the attraction to the hockey players personally. I don't get it. That's me.
I'm
It's
sorry.
100% me. I'm not I don't read hockey romances, but I was watching golf one day over at my father-in-law's of all places. He was watching golf and I was like, well, so I was watching it and I was like, well, that gentleman's pants are quite attractive on him. So
Bruh.
yeah. And I got to thinking, I'm like, well, this could be kind of interesting. So yeah. So yep. I'll be I'll be writing that at some point in time too, but that's down the road. That's going to be a while
Oh
before I
yeah.
do that. So, yeah.
I always like think that I can write like a sportsy book, and I'm like, that just seems like I got to do like a lot of research about a sport that I don't actually care about. So like, I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
I know a little bit about golf. I mean, I'm not great at it. I've played golf. I have golf clubs. My husband's been trying to teach me to play golf for years just so we could kind of do have something to do together. So I understand the game of golf. I have my husband who knows a lot about it and stuff. So I mean, I at least have a source of information if I need it. Um, I always try, like, I wrote part of the first book and I was like, I'm not going to focus on the golf part because I don't care about the golf part
Who cares
as
about
much as
golf?
I care. Yeah, I don't care about the golf. I care about the other stuff. We're just going to put it in the world of golf and have it there. So,
I think I've actually read a book like that once where they're like, oh, he's a
yeah,
whatever sports player. And like they go to like the games, but there's never like any like description of the games or
yeah,
anything like
nothing.
we went to the game and we won. Yay. Like and then that's it.
Well, that'll probably be what happens with my golf romances. Is you
I
might get
love
a
it.
little tiny bit of golf because I do know something about it, but yeah.
I
So
love
some of my one of my favorite threads that I ever saw on Threads was somebody who was posting information as a hockey. She was like a hockey mom and a fan of hockey and a hockey romance reader. She was posting like all the stuff that people who wrote hockey romance needed to work on and make better in their hockey romances. And it was one of my favorite things because I kept reading it and I was going, yeah, yeah,
Oh
that's why I
man.
don't read hockey romance because I'm just one of those people that I would get that that's not the way it goes stuck in my
Mm-hmm.
head and then I wouldn't be able to get rid of it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yep.
I
So,
get that
yeah.
100%.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't write. That's why I don't write hockey romance. But so someday the golf romance might come to fruition. We'll see. I don't know. I have another one that's it's about a witch who owns a sweet shop in a little
Ooh,
small town, and she uses like the different baked goods to like cast spells on the people in the town. And so
that's
yeah, so
hilarious.
that one I thought was kind of fun. Plus I was like I am a huge baker. I love to bake, so I bake a lot. And I thought that would be kind of fun to like pair up with recipes, like find the recipe to go with the baked goods in there so that I could kind of pair it up with the recipes and stuff. So I have that. I am loaded with ideas. I can't even I'm not going to live long enough to write all the books I want to write unless I make it to like 110 or something. So,
As a person who is also a writer, I understand that.
you understand, right?
I
Yeah.
understand.
There's
Yes.
nothing worse than when I'm deep in the middle of working on like two or three series at one time and another series idea pops into my head and I'm like,
Hmm.
no, go away. I don't
Yep.
have time for you. That's
Literally.
kind of what happened with the paranormal romance is I didn't have time for it, but it got stuck in my head. And then I was talking to Erica about it, and she's like, I want it. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go to work on it then. So I did and started working on it
Well, I mean,
because
you did
Erica
say
wants
that
it. So
if Erica wants it, Erica gets it. Okay.
that's basically how it works.
Well, you did say it was like what 400,000 words? That's
Mm-hmm.
hella books, man. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's a
so
lot of
many.
books. That's a lot of books, especially since most of my books come in right around 80 to 90,000 words. I'm like, that's a lot of books.
Yeah, that is a
Now,
lot of books.
granted, it's my first fan fiction, so there's a lot of mistakes.
She said it's a
a
little rough.
lot of there's a lot I needed to work on, but I got better over the years, so
Yes,
much
it's
better.
just a little rough around the edges, but all
A
we gotta do is
little.
just we
Mm-hmm.
just gotta shape it up a little
Yeah,
bit. It's
just
fine.
gotta clean it up. And my character is 100% a Mary Sue, so I definitely got to clean that up too. Because she's a Mary Sue like you would not believe.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm gonna clean it up, and I've got some great ideas for that series, and it's still gonna be monster hunting, but it's not gonna be the brothers. Of course, they're not related, but there's a connection between them, and
Hmm.
it's gonna be good, I think. So I'm
I
excited
can't
for
wait.
it. Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited
gonna
for
be
that.
good. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm having so much fun writing it, but I gotta quit staying up till like 1 in the morning working on my lore because that's
Yeah.
starting to kill me a little bit. But Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
So,
intense.
mm-hmm.
One in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. I get
But
on
no.
a I can't go to sleep if the ideas are in my head. I have to get them out. So then I'll sit down and start writing and get it out. And then I look at the clock and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I need to get some sleep. So,
Oh, girl, you
yeah.
ain't said nothing. You said nothing to me because I know.
You know, when that you get
Like,
that idea in your head, you have to get it out because if you don't get it out,
mm-hmm,
it's one, you're going to forget it. I do that all the time. If I don't write it down,
mm-hmm,
I literally keep a pad and a piece of paper next to the bed, and I will wake up at 1 in the morning thinking of something, and I have to write it down because if
mm-hmm,
I don't write it down, I forget about it, and inevitably it was something that probably would have worked out well in
mm-hmm.
the whole story, and I forgot it. So yeah,
I
as a
I
writer, you
think
get it.
I think at one point in my life I was, and don't ask me why. I was having like really ridiculous dreams and they were all such good like story ideas. And I was like, oh my God, like I have to start like remembering this. But I would wake up and like scribble it out and then I wake up and I
Mm-hmm.
read it. I'm like, what
And
the
you're
fuck
like,
is this?
what does that say? Oh yeah, I've done that a few times. I'm like, I'll read it and I'll go, I have no, or I'll like write and then think I moved down to write something else. And I actually write over the top of what I already wrote.
Yes.
And I'm like, what does this say? Have you ever seen that episode of Seinfeld where he wakes up in the middle of the night and writes a joke on a piece of paper? And then the next morning he wakes up and he cannot read what it says. And he's
No.
going around he keeps trying to remember what this joke was that he wrote down because it was really, really funny, but he can't remember it. That's pretty much how I am if I don't write it down. So yeah. So I
I
get
think
up,
it.
I write stuff down, and then I can't go back to sleep because then I start to expand on it because I'm like, oh, but
Mm-hmm.
what about this? Oh, but I need this. And
Mm-hmm.
then it just takes on a life of its own. I've got notebooks all over this house with notes in them everywhere.
I literally one night I woke up and the dream that I had was so vivid and like I didn't have a pad by my bed. I literally opened up my voice memo app on my phone and me sleepy like this would be such a good idea for a story.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like babble on
Just
about it.
babble it all out. Yep. That's actually probably a good way to do it. I've done that a few times. Like I won't have it if I forget to put the pad of paper back by the bedside. I'll just wake up and I'll be like, okay, I don't have anything here. So I'll have to get up and open my phone and I sneak out
Hmm.
because I don't want to wake up my husband and I'm on my phone sitting in my office in the dark typing stuff out so that I don't forget it when morning
Hmm.
rolls around because
Yep.
inevitably I'll forget it and
Yep.
I needed to remember it. So yeah,
Yep.
I have the most random notes in my phone. And sometimes I'll go read them and I'll be like, I don't know what this means. What was this? Which book was this for? Because I
Same.
don't remember. Which book was this for?
Same. Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I think when I was in college, my one of my English professors, he would give us like a really good like line that he heard or something like that from like a TV show or a movie. And he'd be like, okay, I'm going to give you this line and I want you to write a story, but you have to use this line in the story. I was like, okay. So then I started doing that shit. And so like I would hear somebody on like a TV, like a movie show or something, and I'd be like, a movie show, a movie or a TV show.
A movie
And
or a
they
TV show.
whatever, you know? And I'd hear it and I'd be like, I was like, man, whoever wrote that did such a good job. And then I'll like jot it down because I'm like, man, I could probably expand on this. And then I'll put it like in my notes app in my phone. And then, of course, I go away from it. And then, like, I'll go to make my grocery list in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you'll be like, what's this?
I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
bet that was like, that's a really good line, but I don't know why I have
Mm-hmm.
that in here.
But I don't know why it's there. Mm-hmm. I've done that. I will save songs on
Yes.
Spotify. I have a playlist on my personal Spotify that is like story ideas. And I'll put a song in this story idea playlist. And then I go back and I'm like, I don't remember what the story was that goes with the song, but maybe I'll listen to it and something will come to me. Yeah, all the time, all the time. Or like randomly, my kids will say something and I'll be like, I could totally expand on that and turn it into a story. And then put it in my note app and I forget what it is. So
Yep.
I'm trying to get better about that. I, I have to get better about it. But then it
For
just
sure.
adds to the millions of ideas I already
Hmm.
have, and I need to stop having so many ideas. So Do you ever wish you could just turn your brain off? At least the idea part of it that gives you the new ideas that because you know you need to focus on the stuff you
Yeah.
already have and you're like,
Hmm.
just shut up. Don't
Yeah.
talk to me. I don't want to talk about it. So yeah.
Honestly, I wish I could like turn on the part of my brain that was like when I'm in the flow of something and someone interrupts me, I could be
Mm-hmm.
like this and then go back and remember exactly what was going on. I
Exactly
wish
what
I
you
could
were doing.
turn
Yep.
that on because the amount of times I've like been writing something because I've got like 600 to 500 stories in my Google Drive just chilling.
Oh,
And
yeah. I totally me. Totally me.
And I'll just
Oh
like
my
be
God.
all, I was like, just
Totally
be on a
me.
roll, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, my phone will ring. It'll be like my sister or my best friend. And I'm like, oh, like I haven't talked to them today. I should probably talk to them. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick up the phone and I'm talking to them. They're like, oh, I didn't want anything, blah, blah. Okay, hang up. And then I
Uh-huh.
go back and I'm like,
And you're like, damn it. Yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, me all the time. I will be writing something and then I'll be like, oh my God, I got to go do this. And then I'll get up and walk away and I'll come back and I'll sit down and I'll go, oh my God, what was I writing? I don't
No,
remember. So
literally.
I don't do stuff because like I'll
Hmm.
be like, no, I got to keep going because if I stop, I'm going to forget and I'm not going to remember what I'm doing. And yeah. So
Yeah.
no, I get it. I get it. I got to, once the flow starts,
Hmm.
you can't stop it.
Yeah.
You have to let it go until you reach a natural stopping point that lets you go, okay, I can stop now.
Yeah.
But mhm.
That's hard because sometimes, like, because I have an hour lunch at my job, and so sometimes, like, I'll just be like sitting at the computer, and I'm like, oh, like I could get some writing done right now, and then I'll just be like, do,
Mhm.
and then I'm like clocking away, and I'm like, oh man, this is going great, da 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 da, and then my alarm's going off. It's like you need to clock in, and
And you're like, damn it. Yeah.
I'm like,
Mhm. No, I know I'm already planning for when I go back to work to take a notebook to work with me because I remember what it was like when I was working out of the house before. I
mm-hmm,
would I would jot note, I would email stuff to myself. I would literally type
that's
an
smart.
email out and then I would email it to myself so I would have it. So I have already decided I'm just going to take a notebook with me to work every day. And I'm going to, if something comes up that I think of, I'm going to jot it in the notebook and then I will take care of it when I get home.
Period.
So yeah,
As you should.
you gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do to keep those ideas flowing. Sometimes it's hard to be a creative person, especially
bro.
when it comes to the book side, the writing side of things. Like I mean, I don't know how artists are because I'm not artistic in that way. I'm artistic in the word
Yeah.
way. So I don't know what artists go through and how much they have to deal with that, but it's tough when you're a writer because sometimes you just those ideas come and they don't come when you at a convenient time.
They always come to me when I'm
So,
driving.
oh, that's the worst. That's absolutely the worst. Oh, now I remember where my husband saw the name. My daughter bought me a shower pad, notepad from the shower with a pen that worked in the shower because I would say, oh, I'll get ideas in the shower all the time. And I had written something like Sophia's best friend Sasha or something on a piece of paper on the notepad in the shower. And then my husband got in the shower and he saw it and he goes, hey, I like those names. We can name the two new Shih Tzus that. And I was like, okay, I think that's where it was because I would jot notes down in the shower because that's where I think of stuff all the time is in
How
the
iconic.
shower. Every single time I'm in the shower. And then again when I'm driving. So it'll happen when I'm driving and I'm driving the car and I'm like, oh, okay, great. Now, so I'll do the voice app in the car. I'll hit the
Mhm.
button and I'll be like, okay, we'll do the voice app and I'll leave myself a memo. Of course, then half the time it doesn't make any sense. But oh well, you figure it out. You figure it
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's so hard. Like once you do come to like your like natural stopping point, because then like for like me personally, like I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished with writing this right now. And then, of course, like you start doing something else, like you start writing something else, and then you're like, you know what? I haven't actually looked at this in a really long time. Like I have this story in my Google Drive that I literally started writing when I was in college, pretty sure. And I started doing it for NaNoWriMo.
Oh, okay.
And I literally, I don't even know why. Like one day I was just like in my Google Drive and I was like, oh, like I should look at this. Like, what even is this? I had like 50 pages written. I was like,
Wow. And you're like, I need to go back to this.
I was like, who was I? And like,
Hmm.
I guess like I had just like added to it over the years, like while I was in college and like as I was out of college. And then like one day I just like looked at it and I was like, oh, so we just have halfway to 100 pages and
Just
we
gave
just
up
did
on
it.
it. Just
Yeah.
stopped. Yeah. Yeah. I have tons of those where I've written like the Reaper story I was telling you about. I've got
Hmm.
like 11 chapters probably written for that. So probably 60, 70, maybe 100 pages written of that. And then I've got a standalone one that I started writing that I still want to write because it's actually a really cute idea. It's about a girl who wakes up in her favorite rom-com series. She wakes up in her favorite, she's like totally just one day wakes up and all of a sudden she's a character in her rom-com in this rom-com series that she loves to read so much and that one's been really fun to write. But again, I've got so many ideas that sometimes I have to be like, well, I got to put this on the back burner. So I have
Hmm.
all these folders in my drive and they're labeled like standalone, Love the Lakeside, Second Chances in Hollywood. And my goal is to be able to eventually move them to done.
I felt
Know how
that.
soon that'll happen, but I would love to move them to the done folder at some point
Yes.
in time. So
100%. That is literally me. I'm like, one day
one
these will be
day,
done.
someday, yep, they'll be done. Fingers crossed.
I know. I think what I really need to do is just like find like because it's really like because I want to write. Like we all want to write.
We all
I
want
think
to write. Hmm.
I think it's just like I'm really bad at holding myself accountable.
Yeah, I am too.
It's
I am too. I got a great app for you. It's called, you got to be willing to spend $8 a month, roughly. It's called Pacemaker.
okay.
And you can set up calendars on Pacemaker and you can like give it a word count range or tell it how many pages. There's a bunch of different ways you can set it up. And I always do word count and
Mhm.
because I always have like a word count goal for my books. And I can set it up and say, okay, I want to write this many words from this day to this day to finish this book. And you
Mhm.
can set it up so that it tells you, like, if you want to write the same amount of words every day, or if you want it to oscillate, and some days you write more and some days you write less. And you can also set it up to like on the weekends for me, I set mine set up to write less on the weekends
Yeah.
because I know on the weekends I won't get as much written. And then like if I we went to Disneyland in February and I knew I wasn't going to write while we were in Disneyland. So
Fair.
I blocked those days off as not writing on those days. And it figures out for you how much you need to write every single day to finish the book by a certain time. And then when you go and you enter your progress and you put your number in and you enter it on the screen, there's confetti and it's like, woo, you did it. And it's just kind of, and it kind of holds it. I'm still having to hold myself accountable, but it's a
Hmm.
place for me where somebody else is figuring out the word count for me and I don't have to figure it out. And
Yeah.
and you can have multiple projects in there. That's why you'd have to pay the $8 a month if you want multiple projects. So I have multiple projects in there and like I can pause a project if I'm working on, if I want it to be paused because I'm doing something else. And you can adjust your dates if you need to. And
Hmm.
it's really great. I totally recommend it if you are trying to keep yourself accountable and you don't have a group of people that you write with that help you keep you accountable. Because I don't have that in my life.
Yeah.
I don't have a, don't bark at me, sir. My dog's barking at me. I don't have like a group of writers that I
Hmm.
hang around with that keep me accountable in my writing. So I have to do it for myself. And
Yeah.
that's how I do it is because I'm the type of person that if I don't go in there every day and at least enter something, even if it's not the number I'm supposed to reach, if I don't enter something, I feel like, oh my God, I didn't do it.
Right.
It helps keep you accountable on your own. I highly
Yeah.
recommend it. I highly recommend it. And you can color code everything, which I love. I'm a color coder, so I always do that.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah,
Well,
totally recommend it.
okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I've been trying,
I
since
know.
I've been
I know.
laid up not really been able to do anything. So I'm like, oh, I've been reading. I have been reading a lot. I have a book club, and so like we.
That's good though. That's one thing that I wish I've been trying to make myself more accountable on the reading side of things because I
Hmm.
think as an author we need to make sure we read a lot just because it I don't know who said it, but somebody said it keeps the well full if you read a lot as an author. And of course, when you're writing all the time, you don't have time to read.
Hmm.
So I've been trying to keep myself accountable and read a little bit more. I try to read like 20 minutes a day, which is not a lot, but it gets me something in
Yeah.
every day. So I try to do that every day.
Hey,
So
that's
keep yourself,
important.
yeah, that's, I think it is too. It keep, like I said, whoever said it, it keeps the well full. And I think as a writer, you need to read other people's work. You need to
Yeah.
read outside your genre too. Like I don't really, oddly enough, I don't read a lot of romance books. I read a lot of thrillers
Okay.
are kind of my go-to, but I am trying to expand that a little bit. And next up on my reading list is Lila Sage's cowboy romances, Done and Dusted, and I don't know if you've heard of it,
Oh
Done and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dusted.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Swift and Saddled,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lost and
Hmm.
Lassoed. Yeah, I just
Hmm.
got the fourth one, so I have all four books. And
Nice.
my daughter's like, Mom, you need to read them because she loved them and read them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Plus, I wrote a cowboy romance and I wanted, as soon as I finished that for Loves of Lakeside, then I was like, now I can read hers because I
Yeah.
read mine. I wrote mine. So now I'll read hers and see how hers were. So
Yeah.
those are next up on my to read list is Lila
Mhm.
Sage's series. So
I love that. I love that. For book club, look, there's two other people in my book club, and I love them. Love them. Ashley and Mac, if you ever watch this, just know that I love you. Okay? But they're always making me, and I'm not opposed to reading different things. Not opposed to it. Am I a little hesitant? Yes.
as we all are. Yeah.
But I'll do it because in book club, this particular one, we're not allowed to DNF.
Oh, that would be so hard for me.
Girl, when I the last 2 months, so it was my turn to pick for what's next month? May?
May? Yeah.
Yeah. So we give ourselves a month to read the book.
Okay.
So I get to pick for May because I don't know. I can't remember. I get to pick May's book. So I already picked it. It's somewhere in this house. Um it's on a shelf somewhere. Um but Ashley picked a book last month and it was like the I, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say the name of the book or the author or anything like that because I mean to each his own because the book had very good reviews. It wasn't for
Wasn't
our
for
book
you.
club because
Understandable. None of
none
you
of
liked
us
it.
liked it. Oh my
Oh.
God. Like none of us liked it. It was so there was just it I was trying to tell someone. I was like, okay. I was like, so this is a plot point, right? Blue pen, plot point.
Hmm.
This is also a plot point. Highlighter. This is a plot point. Chapstick. But how do all of these things come
Fit
together?
together. Oh, one of those books. Okay. I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
And it just like
And you're like,
and like
okay. No,
you didn't
I
know
can
what
see that.
time period it was set. Like they had like phones, but like the way they talked didn't seem like they were in like now times,
But they had phones. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't DNF, so you have to finish
Yeah.
it.
And
Mm.
let me tell you how painful it was, okay? It was so painful. And then the month before was Mac's pick, and she picked a book that was supposed to be like a thriller. And let me tell you, the main character was just the worst.
Oh, that's not good.
It was a boy main character too, right? And so I'm like, I will give my guy a chance. He was awful. There was no like I mean
No
everything
redeeming
like
qualities.
no, he was awful. He was so like whiny and like didn't want to
Mm,
try and be better. And I mean like everything in his life pretty much like tied up like at the end. And then like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna use these like it was like some super he like saw ghosts or something and like it just didn't I was like I don't like this. Like I tried so hard. I was like y'all are lucky that I love you
Yeah. And
because
that I'm
these
reading them.
because
Mm,
look, if I was allowed to DNF these books, I
I
would.
would. Yeah.
The
I
amount of
have
suffering.
I have a hard time DNFing a book. Um I guess it's because I'm an author and I'm like, I feel like I should at least try. But I just got one. And when I tell you that this book is supernatural fan fiction, it is supernatural fan fiction.
Okay.
And it's not well disguised supernatural fan fiction. And
Ah,
I won't say the name and the author,
right.
but I got maybe a third of the way through it, almost
Mm.
halfway through it. And I'm just like, I was complaining about it to my daughter because I'm not in a book club. I just was reading it and I was
You can
complaining
always
about it to my
complain to me
daughter.
about a book if you want
And
to.
she's
I'll
like,
listen.
she goes, Mom, you're allowed to DNF a book.
You
And I'm
are.
like, that's true. I am allowed to DNF the book. I don't have to finish it. And she's like, just put it down and read something else. So I did.
Hmm.
I put it
Yeah.
down and I read something else.
Yeah.
So
I
and
literally,
I actually finished what I started to read. So
period.
but I have a hard time remembering, hey, you don't have to read this book. Life is short.
Hmm.
Read something
Yeah.
else. I
Yeah.
have a hard
That.
time with that. So,
Yeah. I'm like
yeah.
that too because I read one book and like it just, it didn't go through a good editing process, is all I'll say. And so I was reading it and I was like, I'm gonna power through this. Like I
Mm-hmm.
am gonna do it.
I've done that.
And
Yeah.
and I finished it by God. And I felt like it took 8 years off my life because I was like, damn, like it just was
Yeah.
so nuts. And there's this one book that I have on my on Kindle Unlimited, and I really and the storyline is so interesting. Like
Right.
I'm just like, oh yes. I'm like, oh, I'm like eating the crumbs of the story because like it's like a murder mystery type story, but there's like a little like smut in there or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like we're gonna find out who killed this person, and like all these
Right.
crumbs are leading in or whatever. But like there's smut, but like it's not the male main character keeps spitting in the female main character's mouth.
I hate that. I
And
can't do that. I
I've
can't do that.
never I've never read a book where that happened before.
Yeah, I can't. That's to
It's
me, that's a big no, but I have issues with spit. So that's why
what so when it
you
happened,
were like, whoa.
I was like, did I read that?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so I
not
was
my, you'll never read that in one of mine. Never,
but
not,
Mimi,
not my thing.
I want to know who the murderer is so bad. But I just
Maybe
can't.
just skim past the smutty parts if you
I
have
might
to. Just
have
kind of
to
skim. You might have to
because
on
I
those.
really, really want to know who
Yeah.
the murderer is. Because I think
Well,
I'm like, I couldn't even
and
tell
this
you.
is
I'm
like
pretty far
this,
into the
like
book.
back when I wrote and read a lot of fan fiction. So when I wrote fan fiction, I read a lot of fan fiction. And there were times that the smut was not well written but the story was good.
Hmm.
So you have to kind of skim past that to keep yourself in the story.
I might
Cuz
have to.
I am a strong believer that I don't think that the smut needs to further the plot. I hate it when people say that because I don't like as human beings we don't have sex to further the plot of our lives.
We
We
don't
do
need
it
it for
because
character
right.
development.
We don't need it for character development. We do it because we enjoy it and it's there and it's, that's why.
Yeah,
So I have never been that it's got to further the plot person. But
right.
if it doesn't feel right for the characters, you can't force it. And sometimes when you're reading a book, sometimes I feel like it'll get put in there not necessarily because it needs to be there, but because somebody thought, "Oh, I should put this in here."
Yeah.
not because it felt right for the characters. I actually, oddly enough, I in the fifth Loves of Lakeside book that I just turned in, the characters don't have sex in the book because
Wow.
I started to write a sex scene for them. And it was taking me so long to write it and it wasn't feeling right. And I literally pushed myself away from my laptop and I went, this is not working because this is not what these characters would do.
Right.
This is not. And I reached out to my daughter, she's my beta reader and she's also an author. She's working on her first book. So I bounce a lot of stuff off of her. So I kind of reached out to her and I'm like, if this isn't feeling right, what do you think? And she goes, Mom, if it doesn't feel right, don't write it. And
Mhm.
it's the only book I've written of all of my current books that are out, all 11 of them, where there's no smut in it because it did not feel right for the characters. It just was not, it didn't work for them.
Okay.
So I left it out. And so you have to, it has to make sense for your characters, not
Yeah.
necessarily further the plot,
Yeah.
but it has to make sense for your characters if you're going to write it.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've read, there's plenty of books on my shelves that like don't have any smut in them at all.
Yeah.
And I've
Same
thoroughly
here.
enjoyed
Yeah.
them,
And
you
you, and
know,
there's nothing, and they're just as good a book as any other book.
literally.
It
Yeah.
doesn't, and I'm one of those, I don't have to be one of those people that there's smut in everything that I write. So, like
Right.
I said, if it just doesn't feel right for the characters, I don't write it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I leave it out. So,
Yeah. So I'm
yeah.
76% into that book.
You're almost done. You
I'm
just,
literally so
that
close.
one you may have to just power through it. You may just have to keep pushing. Because if I was at 76% on that one I was telling you about, supernatural fan fiction, I'd probably keep pushing.
Right.
But I'm only like a third of the way through and I'm like, so it's on my abandoned list, but I own it. I actually bought the book. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna just hold on to it. And if I ever feel the need to go back to it, then I'll go back and try to finish it. But right now
Yeah.
it's gonna sit and wait. So
She's like, you need to sit and think about what you've done to me.
exactly. You just sit over there on my bookshelf and think about it because no.
No, I get that. Yeah. And I went through like a phase where not even like a phase. It was like a couple of books where because I have Kindle Unlimited. And so like, again, the algorithm, it algorithms. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh, like I'll read this book. And then like I, it was two or three books, I think, like one right after the other. And I was like, I can't like it was either the characters were pissing me off. It was either or like it's and I look, your girl's not kink shaming, okay? I will not I'm not yucking anybody's yum. That is your business, okay? If it makes you happy, do you, baby,
Do
okay?
it. Yep, exactly.
But there was this book that I was reading, and I was like, ooh, I was like, okay, this seems like it might be a good read. Literally, the male main character said something to the female. What did he say? He said something like, call me daddy, and then he called her little one, and I
No,
was like,
yeah.
pass. I was like, you know what? Let's go
No,
ahead and
pass.
send that
Yeah.
right back to Kindle Unlimited because,
Yeah. And
like, I,
I am, that's another one. And again, not yucking anybody's yum, like you said.
no, you got a
Everybody
daddy
has what,
kink. That's you.
yeah, you got a daddy kink. That's great. You can do
Hmm.
that. But I, I can't write that. It doesn't feel right for me. And I
Yeah.
think that there's probably all authors are like that. There's just certain
Hmm.
things that, because no matter how much somebody might want you to write it, if it doesn't feel right for you, you can't
Hmm.
write it.
Thanks.
And I think some of that comes back from my fan fiction days because I used to take like requests back in the when I first started writing fan fiction,
Yeah.
and people would like send me messages and they're like, "Oh, can you write this, this, and this?" Well, sometimes it was like I can't write that
Yeah.
because first of all, I mean, if you're not familiar with it, um, I mean, a lot of times I think about like the whole E.L. James debacle with 50 Shades of Grey and how people are so hard on her about the way she portrays the BDSM community and stuff like that. I never want to do that. I never want to
Yeah.
write something that is not true to a particular community or something. So
Mm-hmm.
I am careful to write what works for me, what I am familiar with, what I can write, what, because that's who I am as a writer. And
Right.
I think that a lot of us are like that. You can want writers to write certain things, but if they're not comfortable writing it, it's going to come across in our writing.
Yeah.
You're going to see it anytime we write something. If we're not comfortable with it, it's going to come across in our writing.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes, and like you said, like sometimes the characters, like they can have so much chemistry and all of these things, but like if it doesn't feel right for that to be
Yeah.
happening between those characters, it doesn't need to happen.
It doesn't need to happen. Exactly. And I mean, honestly, like those two characters in that book, I think they have a lot of chemistry with each
Mhm.
other. But it just, for their particular dynamic and their particular story, it didn't work.
Mhm.
And I think that the story is better off because of it. I think it's a better story. I think if I had put it in there, it it would have been too forced and it would have come
Yeah.
across in my writing. And
Yeah.
the book would not have ended the way that I wanted it to end because I
Yeah.
would have forced something that didn't need to be there. So
And Erica would have been like, "What's going on?"
why are you writing this? Why is this not selling? That's what I would have gotten a lecture. So.
Exactly. We don't want Erica giving you lecturing,
No,
okay?
no lectures, no lectures. Yeah.
Ah, this is so fun catching up with you.
I know. It was so much fun. I had a blast. We'll have to do it with the next book that comes out. So
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
I
Are you coming to Indy
have
for
one,
PopCon?
I am not because it is literally right when we are going on vacation.
Ooh, where are
So,
we
and
going?
then we're going to Montana, which is where I'm originally from.
I
I
want to
am
go to
from
Montana.
Montana. So Loves of Lakeside is actually based on a real town on Flathead Lake in Montana. The inspiration came from it. We were on vacation and my in-laws have a townhome on Flathead Lake, and I was actually at the park looking across the lake at their townhome, and all of a sudden I just started going, oh, what if there was like a single guy that lived there and he just met this girl that lived across the street from him and her world was crazy that's where it all
Ooh,
came from. And that's how Lakeside came to be.
I
So,
love
I
that.
mean, I have very much fictionalized the town of
Oh, yeah.
Lakeside, but I do use some of the like real stuff in Lakeside. So,
Period.
but we're going to Montana. And the week before that, I'm going to be in Salt Lake City at Books in the City in Salt Lake
Ooh,
City. Yeah, I'm
sounds fun.
driving up for that. So I'll be at that in June. And then a week later, I'll be going back through Salt Lake City to drive to Montana. So,
You're
so no
driving to
Indy.
Montana?
Yeah. Oh, my husband doesn't fly. My
Ah,
husband does not fly. He does
that's
not
fair.
like to fly. So we're driving. We always drive. Plus, then we have our car when we're there and stuff. So,
That's fair.
yeah.
Can I
So
come to Montana too? I want to come.
the ranch is gorgeous. I'll send you some pictures.
Dude, Montana is like, everyone's like, why do you want to go to Montana? I'm like, because it's
It's
beautiful.
beautiful. I highly, highly recommend everybody go at least once in their life. And my husband's from Missoula. So that's where we always
Oh,
go. And I think Missoula is just a very gorgeous part of the state. It's beautiful
ooh.
there. So if you ever get a chance, I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's
go.
definitely one of those
Yeah.
states I want to go, especially after I
Mhm.
saw Yellowstone. I was like,
Yellowstone.
oh,
Yeah.
well now I
Just so
gotta
you
go.
know, on Yellowstone, you can't get as fast around the state as they get around in Yellowstone.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
no.
telling you. Yeah.
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 That quick hop they make to the state capital all the time. No, that's like a 6 hour drive. So
Jesus. Goodness.
one of
It's
my
a long
one
time.
of the things that drove me the craziest, and I love Yellowstone, but there's a right at the beginning, I want to say it's in the first episode. Um, what's her name? Asks Casey. She tells him, "Oh, I bought a dishwasher and I need you to drive to Billings and pick it up for me." Okay, well, based on where they live in Yellowstone, Billings is like 5 hours away, and Bozeman is like an hour. And I'll tell you right now, they sell dishwashers in Bozeman. So I was like, did these people not consult a map? And then there was one episode where they went to Hamilton from where they were at, and they went to Hamilton, did like a cattle sale, and then
Hmm.
came back to Hamilton all in one day. No, no, honey, that's like just driving to Hamilton's like 16 hours back and forth. You're not going
Jesus,
to Hamilton, hanging out for the day, and coming back in a 24-hour period.
that's
You're
nuts.
it's not. So just so you know, you can't get around Montana as quick as they get around in Yellowstone. Just throwing that out there.
They just drive really fast in Yellowstone.
Oh my God. Just look at
That's
a
so,
map. Just look at a map. That's all I'm asking.
that's hilarious. I'm dead.
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I definitely do want to
But
go
yeah,
to
if you ever get
Montana.
a chance, definitely go. It's
I also
gorgeous.
have a nephew
Beautiful.
named
Yeah.
Montana, so I would
Go to
love to
Yellowstone
like,
too. Oh, do
oh,
you? Well, there you
yeah,
go. You know, you definitely got to go. And I highly and Yellowstone is beautiful. So if you ever get a chance to go to Yellowstone National Park, definitely go. It's
period.
gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So,
All
but
right.
yes, this was fun. I'm glad we got to chat again.
I
So,
know. I miss you,
yeah,
even though we've never met
my
in
internet
person.
connection is unstable. Thank you.
Understandable.
I know. We need to talk more often. Yeah, no, the next book I have come out, I'll let you know so
Yeah.
we can chat about it. Maybe it'll be the collection for Loves the Lakeside and we can sit down and chat about it again.
Ooh.
And go
Ooh.
off on a million different tangents. So
I
yeah.
mean, again, par for the course, you know?
Yeah, that's what we do. We still talked books. So
We
hey,
did, in fact, and writing. So,
yeah.
like, I feel like we did
And
pretty good.
writing.
Um,
Yeah, we did really good, I thought. So
yeah,
we behaved ourselves. So
I'm proud of us.
I am too. I am too. So
Alrighty,
all
Mimi,
right.
tell my peeps where to find you before we sign off.
All right. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads as author.mimi.francis on all three of them. You can find me on TikTok, but I'm not on there very much as author Mimi Francis. Or you can visit my website, mimifrancis.com. You can sign up for my email there. I send out newsletters like once a month. I'm kind of lame about getting them out. So I send newsletters maybe once a month. I try not to spam you. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. All those
Okay.
places.
Yay. Well, thanks for talking with me.
Always. I had a blast. It was so much fun.
Same.
So much
I
fun.
will let you know when this is done and edited and
Yeah.
all those fun things.
Let me
I'll
know when it
send
goes
you
up.
I'll
Send
send
me
you
the
the
link.
link.
Send me the link. Sounds
I
good.
shall.
Yay.
All right. Well, thanks for
All right.
coming on booking it.
Yes. Thank you for having me on booking it.